Yo, what's good, everybody? This your boy PT, man, and welcome back to the Real Leadership Podcast. Hey, I want you to, I want to touch on this topic today, right? The title of this message today, or podcast, or whatever we want to call it, is Be Passionate, but remember, work is transactional. And the reason I'm focusing on this today is because my wife showed me this email or this Facebook post that this lady wrote about how she was with a company for, I don't know, 15 to 17 years, and they ended up letting her go. And she was so hurt that she wrote like this lengthy thing about everything she did and gave up for her job. And it was very well written, very emotional. You could feel the emotion coming from it. She talked about the pain of having to find new work. And she talked about how she's late on her car note and she's having some issues with her rent for her mortgage or one of the two. And then I went to work a couple days later and I'm hearing these people talk about the job and just like how they go home at night and they're carrying this work with them. And I don't work in that type of environment. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's not environments that you don't take your work home with you. You do. I'm sure doctors do, right? We're at work, we not on that, right? I'm in leadership development, right? So the pain of it's not the work, it's the pain of being in an organization that's crazy, right? And they're not being heard and they're giving so much to this and they're giving their all to this job. And they're forgetting that the job that they are on is a transactional concept, right? So now let's break that down a little bit, right? So the definition, and I'm not going to read the entire definition, but that's why I got the glasses on so I can see those small letters, right? I'm getting old. But employment, right? Employment is a paid work relationship between employer and employee. So what does that mean? Let's break that down. Let's put that in real talk, right? You needed a job. You probably went online, Indeed, back in the day, we would hit the newspapers or whatever, right? Or somebody told you about an opening. So they say, hey, we need someone who has this type of skill set. And you said, hey, I got that type of skill set. So you applied to the job. They brought you in for an interview. You spoke with these a individual or multiple individuals about why you would be a great fit for this organization. They said, thank you. We have more candidates we need to interview, right? So they interview a plethora of more candidates for the same position that you're qualified for. And let's say at the end of all of that, you get the job. 30 years ago, people would have told you, and I'm sure some people probably still say it, but they're going to tell you, you should be honored and blessed that you have a job, right? The employer used to look at the employees like, you should be thankful that we gave you this job. We're giving you this opportunity to take care of your family and whatever else you're doing with having this job. Now, it's 2026 and people are we're well educated and a lot of people are looking for people who have skills, right? And if they're hiring you, it's because you have a set of skills that they need for whatever it is that they're doing. So my daddy used to tell me when I was young that work is a contract. Just like I'm telling y'all, it's transactional, it's a contract. It's saying that I will give up a certain amount of time and give you, employer, my skills to do what it is that you need me to do based on you giving me the compensation that we agreed upon that I think is well good enough for my skills. We both agreed on it. We signed that. And then based off of those terms and conditions, I take myself to work. Nowhere in there did it say anything about an emotional attachment. Nowhere in there did it say, if you're here for 5 years, we'll never fire you. Nowhere here does it say we have to get along. Nowhere any of that stuff did it say that in the work environment with some other stipulations around that, right? So if you've been through that process and then you go to work, now once you get to work, don't get me wrong, man, they're going to make you feel good. They're going to give maybe a name tag on the desk. They're going to be like, hey, we got a new family member. They're going to have you be the lead, I don't know, apple pie bringer, right? Every picnic or that picnic, what we do, potlucks, every potlucks, you the apple pie person. They're going to be like, we love the apple pie person, man. Like every time, we just can't wait for your pies. And that's culture. And that's what leadership have to do, right? They need to build a culture where everybody gets along because nobody wants to come to work and hate it. But what happens over time is that the pie makers and then the person who brings the quiche, right? There's, for some reason, there's always a quiche or some type of, whatever, right? Cookies. They all feel like, man, we have finally made it to a space where they'll never fire us. Like, this is the best. Like, we're here. I'm going to stay here until I decide to leave. And that thought is part of that transactional, right? I get to leave when I'm ready. You never think about them letting you go when they're ready. And you think because I've done so much and I'm the pie person, who's going to let the pie person go? I am the culture. Everyone loves the pies. Well, they let pie people go too. And if you have created this concept in your brain that your identity is that job, you will be crushed when they let you go. A lot of people just witness this, right? Because they have made their identity their job. They didn't make their identity that they're a great mom, that they're a great spouse, that they're a great dad, that they're a great brother or sister, or they're a great person in their community. No, they made their job their identity. They're the same people that we all know, right? When they're out, all they do is talk about their jobs and where they work, right? Almost like the name drop. Well, I work for Amazon. And, because I work for Amazon, then when Amazon got to let 14,000 people go, they're like, how they let me go? I've done all this stuff for Amazon. I've been there for 20 years. And Amazon, transactional. It's transactional. It's no different than if while you was with Amazon, someone offered you more money and some better perks, you would have left Amazon. And Amazon don't sit there and go, how they leave us when we're Amazon and we're these people and we're supposed to transactional. Now, transactional don't mean they don't care. Transactional don't mean that you should go in there and be cold at work, right? Nah, you should be professional. You should fit into the culture, but you got to let your character be your identity. Your character travels with you. So if you want to work here and you do all this great stuff and then it's not, but for whatever reason you want to move, that character goes with you. Everyone can say, man, PT was a great worker. When I need references, it shouldn't be hard. They should be like, we're sorry to see you go, but we understand. People outgrow companies and companies understand that all the time, right? And that's good. When you want to move, remember, you're allowed to move. That's called, because it's transactional. The contract between you and the employer no longer serves you. So you are able to leave, which is great. What isn't great is when they call you into that office and say, hey, this contract no longer serves us, and now we need you to leave. And you don't believe it. I don't believe, not me, right? This just happened to Ryan Clark. If you don't know who Ryan Clark is, he's a football analyst for ESPN, or he was. And I was watching his interview on The Pivot, which is his podcast. And what he talks about is how for the first time in his life, he finally thought he made it to a place where he was too big to be fired. Everyone told him, you're the best, Ryan. You're the best at what you do. You break down and analyze all this stuff better than anybody, but you're on the come up. People be a fool to let you go. They were like, hey, ESPN's going to have to make some layoffs. And there's no way it could be Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark's like, who's getting laid off? Man, he's probably making plans. Man, I think we should probably everyone sign this card for everybody who's about to get laid off. So y'all want to sign it? You want to he probably leading up the charge on making sure those people are okay. Because Ryan Clark's a stand-up dude. I got nothing but respect for Ryan Clark. And I respect him even more for saying that he never thought he would be fired. And then they fired him while he was on the air. In the middle of a segment, he gets a call that says, we're letting you go. And they didn't let him back on. Like, he didn't finish the segment. He was just gone. If you watch ESPN, they got like the 3 boxes or 4 boxes. His box was just gone. There was no more Ryan Clark. That's work. It's transactional. It's not personal. We take it personal, I get it, but we don't take it personal when we leave. So remember, to be on that fair tip, we all get to do it, right? But you have to always understand, I don't care if you've been there 25 years. If they say we need new blood in here, you got to go. Thank you for your time. I'm not saying that is fair. I'm not saying that is right, but I go back to what it was. And if you keep that in mind and you work hard, be professional, do all the right things, right? Make your character your identity. Make your family your identity. Make everything that matters your identity. Don't make the job your identity. And I get sometimes, right, I get it. I was in the military 21 years. I'm not telling you that the military wasn't my identity. I couldn't help it. When I walked, I'm in uniform, so forth and so forth. But when I retired, the day that I retired from the military, I thought I gave 21 and a half years, right? And for my military people, if you're listening to this, please tell me the same. I'm not telling you that you can't do a retirement party. I didn't get one because it was COVID, right? It would have had to been virtual. So I was like, nah, I'm cool. But it wasn't necessary to party. The party could happen whenever, right? We had one here in Maryland once I got home. But I thought when I went to sign the final papers that there will be something, like there will be, I don't know, a last salute or like something where they come up and shake your hand and say, man, thank you for the 21 years you gave us. You fought a war for us, bro. Since 9/11, you've been, operating in this space and we've been doing things over there. And you did all of this and now we're done. We coming out on the back end. And PT, here's the paper, sign it. And I signed it. And they were like, go downstairs, get your ID card. Okay, well, I guess the excitement's going to be downstairs when I get that, right? So then I go downstairs and they take the pictures. Snap. All right, sir, here's your new ID card. Next. That's what I got after 21 years, 21 and a half years, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I felt like, man, that's all we get. But it's like, it was transactional. They took care of me and my family for 21 and a half years. And I gave them and was willing to put my life on the line for the country for 21 and a half years. Even that was transactional. So if you're sitting here and you work in budget or you work in these organizations, remember things happen. And when money gets cut, people have to go. And it's not personal. It's transactional. The contract is up. It no longer serves us. We just got a new administration that came in and they cut how many federal jobs? Jobs that we never thought would be. Everyone there probably never thought they were touchable because a lot of people go into the federal government thinking, oh, we safe. Until you just realize someone could come in and say, no, we're taking out the entire DE. Hold on, we can't. We're not on that no more? No. And erase it from everything. 14,000 jobs or whatever that number is gone. You're at home hurt. And I'm not saying you can't be hurt, but if that was your identity, that's tough. But if you went in knowing and always thinking, hey, this is a possibility, then you need to be bettering yourself, getting your skills up consistently, being the professional person, being the person that they really need. Not the person who just comes to work and you're there and you bring the apple pies, right? But the person who actually moves the needle, makes a difference, the person they really say they can't work without, and it's a true thing. That's giving 100%, right? And you owe 100% to the people who hire you. I'm not saying you don't. They owe you 100% to take care of you and build a culture and provide certain structures while you're at work that eliminates the stress and make things more efficient and effective and move more smoothly. Those are the things that I talk about in my book, right? That's what operational performance looks like when things are working smoothly. But that happens when you kind of remove some of the emotion out of out of it and you're saying, hey, I'm here to be professional. I'm here to be a team player. I'm here to do the best job that I can do because you hired me. And based off our contract, I'm giving you the skills that I have and that I have developed while I've been here to make whatever we're doing the best thing that we ever done before. And once I'm done and I grow out of that, I need to go somewhere else. Or you need to give me something else more challenging. Meanwhile, they got to say, hey, we're giving you that work-life balance. We're giving you that PTO. We're giving you that medical. So when your daughter or your kids are sick, you get to go. We're going to cover some of those costs. We're matching your 401k, right? We're going to give you 5% or 10%, 8%, whatever that percent is. You put 8 in, we put 8 in. We're going to make sure that long-term you're taken care of. We got long-term disability. We got short-term disability, right? We get 11 holidays off, right? You might get a floating holiday. You even get Juneteenth off, and people don't even know what we're doing on Juneteenth, but you get it off, right? You get all this stuff off, just like Columbus Day, right? I don't know what, whatever. I'll take it. But all this stuff is all part of that transaction. So the next time you're sitting at work and you're sitting there, you're complaining and you're hurt and you're sad and you're like, I don't know what's going on, I'm stressing, and they won't make a decision. You can always leave. You can leave. You can take those skills, you could pack up and you could walk out the door with a new job. At least you can start the process. You do not have to stay there simply because you've been there. Because believe you me, when they are done with you, they're going to let you go. Ask Ryan Clark. That's all I got for you this time around, man. I hope it does something. I hope it starts to get you thinking just a little bit different about that relationship with your job. And don't get me wrong, people are cool. I'm not saying that people are cool. I'm not saying people ain't your friends, but that is not your family. Those are people that you met in the work environment. So just keep things in perspective, continue to work hard, continue to grow, continue to do what you're supposed to do that's best for you and your family. And don't ever remember this. When you're on your deathbed, the odds of you saying, I wish I just had 8 more hours at work is very slim. You know what I mean? And if that's what you're on, then man, please don't pay no attention to this podcast. But if you really think, like, I ain't gonna be thinking, look, I'm about to retire in 3 years and won't think about this. Then teach that to people below you. Tell them do their best, be their best. Just don't let it define who they are. And with that, man, I wish you all the best. And like always, stay real.